I've been watching a lot of videos about how to improve the content that you're making, how to drive more traffic to your Twitch streams, to your YouTube channels, how to more successfully turn into a content creator, kind of what that means. And there's some good advice when it comes to the basic info. The basic info being what is Twitch content? What is the difference between Twitch content? What is the difference between YouTube content? What is the difference between Instagram, Twitter? What is the difference between all of the different content on all of the different platforms? What is the difference between those? How do you use them all together as one? And then other than that, the advice is be good. And so it really becomes a problem then. Okay, it's like, great, I understand that I need to stream on Twitch consistently, and I need to choose games that both I have fun playing, or I can either, decide not to do that and play a game that might get me more views or might make me more discoverable or something like that. I know that I need to use my Instagram and my Twitch to drive, and my YouTube channel to drive traffic, because Twitch is not a discoverable site. You can't find new people on Twitch. They're not showing you new things. There are new streamers on Twitch. You have to find them. You have to find them yourself. Once you understand that, you really are left with there's no other advice that you can get. Really, the other advice that you can get is make good content. That's really what it is. Do stuff that nobody's ever seen before, which is an interesting piece of advice to give someone, because it's really the biggest cop-out you can give, because it's saying do something. We don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. Even if you do what this thing is, if it's not right, then it isn't it. If it's not massive, if it's not popular, if it's not the next big thing, that's not what we were talking about. So it's this undescribable, intangible kind of piece of advice that's essentially true, but at the same time doesn't give you any actionable piece of thing to look forward to. I'll be honest, I've been making content, gaming content on the internet in different places. I've made content specifically for Instagram, not a lot at all. I've made a lot of content specifically for YouTube, and I think at this point I've made a good bit of content for Twitch. I've also made, I'm trying to think of all the other places that I've posted content. I haven't really used, Facebook as a content site, but I've used it enough to kind of understand how it works. And of course, none of it that was recent. But the point is, it really isn't just, at this point in time, it's no longer making good content and making it consistently. That doesn't help you anymore. And quite frankly, people say, oh, it's luck, or you just need some luck. And maybe that's true. I mean, there are certainly things like networking. I don't do a lot of networking, if any networking at all. I'm bad at it. Essentially, why I think I am bad at it is because it is always inauthentic whenever I do it. I've never, been able to go to another person or place for promotion and not have it be the only reason that the interaction's happening. The closest thing the closest genuine cross-pollination I've done was back in the Call of Duty days, Modern Warfare 2 days, is there would be community channels, and there was one big one, Machinima, but there were several smaller community channels people would subscribe to because they wanted to see a variety of gameplay and a variety of commentaries from different points of view from different people, and you got a bunch of it all at the same place, and it was all high quality because these people had to submit and be approved in some way, shape, or form to get on the channel. Someone else at the very least had to watch the video and be like, yeah, this makes sense. It's not a big approval process, but the point being it's some way, shape, or form curated. And at that point in time, it was everything about that was genuine. The people who ran the community channels are interested in running channels. They're not necessarily interested in content making, but they're interested in analytics. They're interested in knowing algorithms. They're interested in relevant social medias, but they're not necessarily interested in making the content. So those people get to do what they want to do. The content creator wants to create more content, and they want to get more people to see the content that they're making right here and now, and the content that they're making in the future. And then it also also helps the audience, because at that point in time, and you can argue now that there's always going to be a thirst for high quality, authentic, genuine gaming content. Now, it has changed where people want to find that. It used to be people only wanted to find that on YouTube. Now people only want to find that on live streams. When people come to YouTube, they're not necessarily looking for the genuine content that they are on Twitch. They're not necessarily looking to see a person interact with those around them. They're looking to see, highlight videos. They're looking to be entertained. They're looking for the suspension of disbelief in some way, shape, or form. So it becomes this point in time when you have been making content for a long time. Like I said, I've been making content for a decade now. Since 2009 Modern Warfare 2, I've been making Call of Duty videos and, making content on the internet. Is it always been consistent throughout that 10 years? No. There's been, probably chunks of a year maybe without uploading anything like that in between. There have been maybe, years where maybe you only get a few videos, like 5-10 videos a year or something like that. There's been a lot of time where it hasn't been consistent. But there have been times where I've made very consistent pushes. And I'm not talking about like, oh, I'm gonna do it for real now and then not actually doing it. I'm talking about solid 3, 6, and sometimes even a year long of pushes making content, whether it be every other day, daily content, just keeping a regular schedule. Yes, you grow somewhat. There is like somewhat growth. At the end of that period, you will notice that you have more interactions, more views, more people clicking than you did at the beginning. But there's not meaningful growth is an interesting way to say. Yeah, there is growth, but there's not commercial growth. That's what it is. There's no commercial success, so to say. Yeah, like you have fun doing it. I have fun making it for other people. I have fun having a discussion with people on my channel about different games, about what I'm doing and what other people are doing. I enjoy sharing and growing with other people on YouTube, right? That's great. However, no one is interested in the commercial aspect of that at a certain point. At least I'm strictly talking about my experience. Now, this comes to the question, do I just make content that sucks? Is it just stuff that I'm making that no one wants to view? And I've had to come to terms with that is very much, it's possible, right? I make an old school style of video. No one is watching gameplay commentaries anymore, and no big channel is making them. So it's something that not necessarily is being sought after all of the time. That is true. However, there's just like this certain element of like where is the line between this is fun and enjoyable and worth doing and it not being fun, enjoyable, worth doing, so like when I see like people who are just gonna start right off the bat and they're like, okay, we're gonna do it and the goal is to become a full-time content creator, the goal is to become a full-time streamer, and they're like, I got my PC, I bought a capture card and microphone, and we're starting right now. And they start grinding, they spend all the money, they start grinding for no one. And and they keep going and they keep going, and but still no one's watching. And like it gets to the point where it's like, when do you stop? When is it that you are like, you know what, no more? Because there's always the thing of waiting, just be like, oh, if I just keep doing this, eventually, if you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. And you can just keep repeating that over and over and over again. But at what point is it the difference between no one's showing up and you make bad content, or no one's seeing it? But anyway, these are just things that I've been thinking about recently. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed and you stuck around to this point in time for more videos. I'll see you in the next one.